As far as TDIU goes and poking the bear, you know, I'll speak from my own experience. My very first rating I got out of the Marine Corps was in 2019. It was either 70 or 80. I don't remember. I had one rating at 70%. Okay. Could I have gone TDIU? Absolutely. When I transitioned from the Marine Corps to where I'm at now, I was not employed. I was on terminal leave. I'm over here freaking out. Okay. I'm transitioning from being in a infantry soft environment to being a regular normal person, which is a huge shift. So my mental health is going everywhere. That was a really bad time for me in my life. Now that I'm looking back, I could have went IU, and my VSO even said, "Hey, you're at 70%. That's good. You should be happy with that." Right. And so if I took that advice, because I didn't know anything at that point, I was like, "Oh, you're right. I should be happy. I should be grateful." And I was grateful and happy, except that didn't sit right with me. Plus, I get these little curious things, and that's what really wanted me to learn the process for myself. And so I think that happens to a lot of veterans where they're offered IU, they meet the criteria for it. They're advised, "Hey, don't do anything. Don't poke the bear. You're fine." And if you don't know, Jason and I hate poke the bear phrase, by the way. Poke the bear, high value claims, all that is just baloney hogwash. But yes, there is a point in time you want to poke the bear. And I would absolutely argue for most people on IU, poking the bear is on the table, right? Unless you are at that dead end. It's you know, TDIU has no age limit, and there's something to think about here. There's really two audiences. You have your people who are retired, who genuinely can't work. They're not 100%. They're awarded IU. You're fine, right? Go live your life. You're in your 70s, your 80s. You're fine. Then you have this group of people who are in their 30s, right? I think Jeremy Harrell was awarded TDIU in his 30s. That again, it's a lifestyle issue, and veterans really don't grasp what that means until you're sitting on year 4 of TDIU being like, "I'm bored." Right. You know, like, I mean, how many video games can you actually play? Like, at what point are you bored? Anyways, that's all I got on IU, unless you want to add to anything else. And then we swap.
You know, so I think that there's, I guess, another potential way to view this as the stepping stone, right? So maybe I'm 60, 70, 80, 90%, and I file for TDIU with the idea that that's going to get decided probably quicker than me going out and getting all the other evidence on my secondaries and this and that. Maybe I'm just going to take a knee for a little while, be on TDIU, and continue to document and gather evidence on my current conditions for potential any increases, do a little more research back in my service treatment records to see if there's anything I missed, and gather more evidence for secondaries, that type of stuff. Or maybe a new presumptive list comes out, and now all of a sudden that becomes something that I can look at. And so in a way, I'm using it as a stepping stone to get to where I am. I mean, you never know. The one thing that I did want to throw out again and just double tap on that you said was, really there kind of is two audiences, and the age frame for folks absolutely will play a factor in that. You know, somebody who's in their mid 70s and goes, "Look, I can't be a Walmart greeter anymore, right? I'm done. I can't work anymore physically. I just can't because of my knee, my back, my whatever." And now all of a sudden it's like, you know, "Hey, look, I'm going to hang it up." And moving to a TDIU because you just simply can't work anymore due to your service. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Sign up for that all day long, right? So it's the situation that Jeremy's in is the one that really is the flashing lights, and the I guess the warning is flashing. So we'll kick it back over to you to carry on to the next section.
Yeah, I think we go straight into poking the bear, right? Because I can't stand the stigma of not poking the bear. And I think Jeremy is the poster child for why that's stupid. Okay. And I'm so glad you brought up presumptives because I didn't even think about that, but that's the most obvious. We have Jeremy Harrell. If you don't know, you have to watch the live stream on any of our channels. Hands down, one of my favorite live streams I've ever done, ever, hands down. Very intricate, lots of moving pieces. It's very debatable. There's a verdict, so it's objective, but you're not going to be happy with it. That I can probably assure you. And pretty much synopsis, he was awarded TDIU, I believe, in 2011. I'm just going to say 2010-ish, okay? 2010 and above-ish. I believe, if my memory's right, 2011. He's awarded TDIU. He starts a nonprofit years later. I think it was 2019. He's volunteering, never receives a penny. He's volunteering. He volunteers about 40 to 60 hours a week. He has the ability to work. Boom, he gets slammed via OIG, the district attorney of Eastern Kentucky, goes to court, goes to trial, is convicted. He's going to serve his prison time, and he's going to pay back that debt. Now, that's the synopsis. Let's just dive into that, right?
Cool.
He's awarded TDIU, and I'm just going to skip from 2011. I think it's 2011, so that's what I'm going to say. It could be a little later.
Whatever it was.
Let's skip from 2011 all the way to 2022. What happened in August of 2022? The PACT Act, right? Effective January 1st of 2023, signed in August of 2022. Immediately, I know, without a shadow of a doubt, Jeremy could have filed more claims and been service-connected on a presumptive basis, which is stupid easy, and that is a prime example of why veterans should be rated, because he didn't do that, and now he's convicted, right? He's a felon. So I don't know, Jeremy, if you're watching this, if you have firearms, brother, I'm buying them, okay? Now, I'll take them at a discounted price because I know you're not allowed to have them. So let me know. All right. Now, on another note, Jason, like that's just one reason why someone on TDIU, I'm going to try not to pick on Jeremy too much. Someone on TDIU and the PACT Act should absolutely look at ratings, right?
So here's the really, really interesting part of it is all of a sudden it skips from having the ability, or I guess having substantially gainful employment, to, well, we think you are exhibiting signs that you could be substantially gainfully employed, therefore you're going to get convicted. And you know, it's such a weird slippery slope, I think, to guess what people are able to do, especially when you rip away certain aspects of a job, right? Nobody's breathing over your shoulder. Nobody's has any sort of quota for you. Nobody's inspecting your work, telling you what you did or didn't do. Nobody's seeing if you clocked in on time or not. Nobody's doing any of those probably highly triggering situations to you. So you could sit at home and play video games, like you said, Clay, or you could feel like you have some sort of purpose, get in your car and drive somewhere, right? Let's say that a veteran on TDIU gets up every morning, 7 o'clock, is drinking their coffee, 7:30, they're out the door every single day, Monday through Friday, and they drive straight to the VFW or DAV or whatever. And they sit inside the bar there, and they have conversations about claim stuff with everybody that they see there, and they spend their whole day doing that. And then they drive home. Is that person now all of a sudden at risk of losing their TDIU because they're showing the ability that they could get up, leave their house, go sit down, have conversations with people about claim stuff, and then go home and then repeat, wash, rinse, repeat, whatever it is, whatever shampoo bottles say? Yeah. You wouldn't know really though, huh? That's all right.
Three in one is what I use. Yeah.
There you go. Keep it simple. So that's the disturbing part of this. And I think from a protective stance for our brothers and sisters out there, and just this way of going, oh, we need to protect ourselves now against this tyranny, really, regarding this specific program. I think that you absolutely must know yourself,
Mm-hmm.
your claim, your conditions, your secondaries, your potential increases. Know if your conditions are what conditions are static, what might have future exams, what have passed the 5-year mark, what have passed the 10-year, what have passed the 20-year, depending on who we're talking to, and really, really sit down and have a real conversation with yourself about, is there a pathway? Utilize the VA calculator for VA funny math so you can figure out how close you are to the next level up as far as VA compensation is concerned. You might be at 90%, and I'll tell you, 90 to 100 sounds like it's not much, but as you probably know, it's a lot of money. It's like $1,500 difference. It's a big deal. So if you're at 90% and on TDIU, oh boy, especially if you've been on it for a little while, you should probably just take a step back and revisit your current conditions as compared to the schedule of ratings and see, one, did you miss anything? Two, is there any ability for increases? And three, are there any opportunities for secondaries? And oh, by the way, are there any new presumptives that rolled out that maybe I didn't even know about? And look at that, plug all your information into the calculator because, I mean, look, the reality, Clay, an 86 raw percentage rounds to a 90, but 94% also rounds to a 90.
Mm-hmm.
So you could be a sneeze away from 100% and not even have to look over your shoulder. Because believe me, for those that aren't aware of what has happened with this case, you're going to be looking. Am I going to exhibit the fact that I can work because I went to the grocery store? Is this what's happening now? It's a very stressful situation. Now, I'm going to throw out there, look, I wasn't in the courtroom, wasn't privy to everything that was said. I read some articles on one side, and then we had him on as a guest, and he said his side. So, I don't know if there's something else, but I'm just saying that whatever the look is, it's not a good look.